Part 33. Start, Invincible, met the Empress's apprentice. Author, Ben Pao de la Chang. Chapter 321. Okay everyone, Tian Xiao. Next, let me tell you the rules in detail. This time, the number of places for our immortal sword heavenly palace to recruit is 1000 disciples for the outer sect, 100 for the inner sect, 30 core disciples, 15 for the holy position, and the emperor's position. 5 people. Do you understand? As soon as the quasi-emperor finished speaking, a proud and unruly genius spoke slowly. Elder, I wonder if there can be a son of heaven and a daughter of heaven. Boom. These words directly caused a wave of shock in the crowd. Countless people looked at the young man who spoke in disbelief. Damn it, who is this person? He is crazy. He covets the position of the emperor and the heavenly daughter. I seem to know who this person is. He seems to be the emperor's son of the Qin clan, Qin Tian. His father is a great emperor, and his sister is Xuanhuan, who is also the daughter of the great emperor. No wonder the emperor's son dared to say such things, but it may have disappointed him. He may be the emperor's son in the Qin clan, but don't forget that this is the immortal sword heavenly palace, and there are many people from the emperor clan who can. It would be good to enter the holy throne. As for the throne, the hope is a bit slim, let alone the emperor and the goddess. Yes, the son of heaven and the lady of heaven. You must know that there are only 2 of us in the immortal sword palace in an era. In this era, the son of heaven and the lady of heaven have not yet appeared. It is because no one is worthy of them. Countless people talked about it, and many people thought Qin Tian was dreaming. My little friend, if your talent is beyond the limit, you can naturally be promoted to the position of emperor. However, it depends on your performance. However, I still advise you not to have such a dream. Okay, everyone, let's start the first round of assessment now. Disciples in the Saint realm need to withstand the power of the quasi-emperor for 10 seconds. Disciples in the Saint King realm need to withstand the power of the great emperor for 5 seconds. And disciples in the holy realm need to withstand the power of the immortal emperor for 3 seconds. But don't worry, it's not the full version of the emperor's power, it's the emperor's power that has been reduced countless times. Okay, without further ado, let's start the assessment of the Saint realm. After the quasi-emperor elder finished speaking, he directly faced the disciples in the Saint realm and released a wave of quasi-emperor pressure. Boom! The moment the emperor's power was released, countless saint disciples spurted out a mouthful of blood and fainted on the spot. Although it weakened the power of countless quasi-emperors, after all, it also brought an emperor character, and naturally it was not those ordinary ones. The saints' disciples can block it, not to mention this ray of quasi-emperor's power, which is directly facing these disciples. 5 seconds later, countless disciples couldn't help but fell to the ground and fell unconscious. 6 seconds. Until 10 seconds later, the quasi-emperor elder put away his imperial power. At this moment, there were less than 2,000 disciples in the saint realm left. These 2,000 disciples were also pale, trembling, and their bodies were soaked with sweat. Congratulations, you passed the first round of assessment, which is enough to prove that you are all outstanding. As for those disciples who are unconscious, someone will send them back, and they will also be given some pills as compensation. After the words fell, a group of disciples from the immortal sword heavenly palace carried the unconscious disciple and turned into a stream and flew to the sky. Okay, next, we are the disciples of the Sage King realm. You are facing the real power of the emperor, so please be prepared. After the words fell, I saw the last sword mark on the sacred mountain, suddenly bursting out with the power of the great emperor. This sword mark was engraved by Xuanhuan, the current master of the immortal sword Tiangong Palace, when he broke through the great emperor. And Xuanhuan is also the emperor of the previous generation. As for the goddess of the previous generation, she is missing. There are rumors that she has fallen. There are rumors that she has broken through the Emperor and gone to other worlds. This ray of power of the Emperor is also mixed with this ray of sword power. This sword is a traceless sword, which just corresponds to the name of Xuanhuan. Wherever the sword blade passes, there is no trace and cannot be traced back. Cause and effect is the way of killing swordsmanship. Boom. Most of the more than 1,000 disciples of the Sage King vomited blood and fell into coma immediately. 5 seconds later, only more than 300 disciples of the Sage King were left. It is also destined that some of these disciples of the Saint King will compete with the disciples of the Saint Realm for the qualifications of outer disciples. Congratulations on passing the exam. The next step is the realm of the Holy Lord. The Quasi-Emperor Elder said with a smile. Gilug. Many disciples in the Holy Realm couldn't help but swallow their saliva. After all, they were facing the power of the immortal Emperor. They didn't know how terrifying it would be. But among them, there are also a small number of disciples with calm expressions. These are basically disciples from the Imperial clan. But after all, you are facing the power of the immortal Emperor, which is several times stronger than the power of the great Emperor. You have 10 minutes to prepare. You can use any technique or magic weapon. Elder, we don't need it, please start directly. Qin Feng, this conspicuous bag, said again. This sentence directly made some of the disciples of the Holy Lord dissatisfied, but they could only be dissatisfied. After all, Qin Feng's family was also a double emperor, and they were not easy to mess with. Since this little friend has said so, wouldn't it be unkind if I don't agree? Start. Boom. The penultimate sword mark directly burst out with the power of the immortal Emperor. The faces of the Saint Kings who had just experienced the power of the great Emperor turned pale again. Although this power of the Emperor was not directly facing them, they could not bear the residual power. Only a few Tianjiao could keep their expressions calm. Of course, even the disciples of the Fairy Sword Palace were trembling. This is the power of the immortal Emperor, and it is still weakened countless times. I feel that even the power of the real great Emperor is just like this. Alas, there is no way to compare. Those people are all monsters. They are the darlings of this era. We are just stepping stones. At the moment when the immortal Emperor burst out, more than half of the Saint Venerable disciples spurted out a mouthful of blood. There was no way, they really couldn't bear the power of the immortal Emperor. 3 seconds later, there were only 50 Saint Venerable disciples left out of hundreds of Saint Venerable disciples. It can be said to be extremely cruel. At this moment, there were countless elders who were secretly observing in the void, and their eyes lit up. I have to say, although Qin Feng is a conspicuous person, he looks like he can hold on for 2 more seconds. He is indeed the son of the emperor from the imperial family. Not only that, his sister is also very good, even a little stronger than Qin Feng. I feel that Wu Shui is not bad either. Really, Qin Miao Miao is not bad either. Ye Chen is not bad either, suitable to be my disciple. He, Dugu Kyubai from the Wanjian sect is obviously stronger, and he is also a swordsman. I want this Qin Feng. I want Wu Shui. Then, a group of elders started a battle to snatch people. Okay, be quiet, there is one last test. At this moment, a ray of the Emperor's power appeared in the void. Start, Invincible, met the Empress's apprentice. Author, Ben Pao de la Chang. Chapter 322. When the elders saw a middle-aged man appear, they immediately said respectfully, "Greetings to the palace master." Greetings to the palace master. This man is the current palace master of the Fairy Sword Palace, Xuanhuan, a half-step immortal emperor, the emperor of the previous generation. Xuanhuan just nodded faintly. Palace master, how come you are here? We can take care of such a small matter. A quasi-emperor elder said puzzledly. I just came to see if there are any special monsters among the Tianjiao of this generation. Palace Master, do you have a candidate? A group of elders asked in shock. I think there are some Tianjiao who are really good. Xuanhuan said slowly. The one who caught the palace master's eye must be the prince and princess of the Qin family. I think it should be Dugukaiubai from the Wanjian sect. These are the geniuses of this generation. As the elders were discussing, Xuanhuan slowly said. You all guessed wrong. It's those three disciples. After saying that, Xuanhuan looked at Li Bai and the other two. And many elders also looked at Li Bai and the other two, and couldn't help but give a word of praise. Well, all three of them are saints, not too old, and indeed not bad, but, all three of them are unfamiliar faces. Palace Master, I don't know why you think so highly of them. Compared, those evil disciples of the Emperor clan are no worse, or even better. Not only that, they are also much younger than these three. Hee, because, I can't see through these three people, especially the young man in the lead. Not only can I not see through them, but I even feel terrified, the kind of palpitations from the bottom of my heart. Xuanhuan said expressionlessly, his expression extremely serious. Boom. This sentence was like a bolt from the blue, hitting the hearts of the elders. They once doubted whether they had heard it wrong. Who is Xuanhuan? He is the palace master of the Fairy Sword Palace, a half-step immortal emperor. Now he actually said that he couldn't see through three young people. Isn't this a fantasy? Moreover, they can also be sure that none of these three people is the reincarnation of the great emperor, because the fit between their souls and bodies is perfect, without any gaps. Otherwise, even if it is a supreme reincarnation, there will always be a gap. Palace Master, you are kidding, right? That's right, you are a half-step immortal emperor, unless these three people are above the realm of the myth emperor, but, this is impossible. No, you don't understand at all. When the three of them faced the power of the immortal emperor just now, there was no fluctuation at all. Even those evil geniuses of the imperial family would have a little difficulty when using their skills and magic weapons. This is enough to show that either the strength of these three people is above the great emperor, or there is a supreme or even higher existence in their family. Xuanhuan frowned and said slowly. Forget it, let's continue to watch. Yes, Palace Master. Yes, Palace Master. On the other side, after seeing the remaining geniuses, the quasi-emperor elder slowly said. Everyone, the next step is the last test, the road to immortality. Speaking of this, the quasi-emperor elder's expression also became serious. And the disciples of the Fairy Sword Palace have begun to boil. Finally, we have reached the road to immortality, the step I have been looking forward to for the longest time. Ha ha ha, I wonder how many floors these disciples can reach. In theory, as long as you can reach the 300th floor, you will be qualified to enter the outer gate, the 500th floor is the inner gate, the 700th floor is the core disciple, the 800th floor is the saint's son, and the 900th floor is the emperor. I think that Qin Feng, Qin Shuang, Wu Shui, Qin Miao Miao and others should be sure to reach the 700th floor. As for going higher, it depends on talent. I remember that our palace master reached the 900th floor, right? That's right, that's why the emperor of the last era can fall on the head of the palace master. Then has our Xianjian Tiangong ever had anyone who has reached the 999th floor in history? A disciple who had just entered the Xianjian Tiangong asked slowly. This, except for the first generation of palace master who reached the 999th level, the highest that the other palace masters reached was the 998th level. However, I heard that there are a total of 1000 levels on the immortal road, but no one has ever reached the last level. Just as countless people were discussing enthusiastically, a ray of immortal light flowed down from the top of Xianjian mountain, and gradually a seemingly endless road slowly appeared. This road is the Immortal Road, which was created by the founder of Xianjian Tiangong, that is, the sword immortal, to test talents, understanding, and Taoism. Its essence is similar to the Emperor Road in the Immortal Realm, but it is not as dangerous. Wow, this road looks awesome. Erguze, looking at the Immortal Road that extends to the sky, said in surprise. It is indeed as the name of the Immortal Road, as if you can reach the end and become an immortal. Ling Mei echoed on the side. Creator. And it is also a ray of the origin of creation. At this moment, Li Bai lightly said the origin of the Immortal Road. The origin of creation? Young master, are you saying that the essence of this road is a ray of the origin of creation? Ling Ye heard Li Bai's words and said in great horror. That's right, not just a trace of the origin of creation, but even a hint of the law of the beginning. This swordsman is very extraordinary. Ling Biao, where does this sword immortal rank on the Eternal Emperor ranking? Li Bai asked slowly. Sir, it seems to be the 9th one. 9th, it seems I underestimated it. Li Bai said calmly. Then young master, are we still waiting for this road to immortality? Why not? There is something suitable for you on the 991st and 998th floors. Be sure to get it. Li Bai said slowly. Ah, young master, after all, this is the Immortal Sword Heavenly Palace, will they agree? Erguze said cautiously. If my guess is correct, these things were deliberately placed by the fairy sword, and the purpose should be to find people who are related to them. Then, Li Bai directly told them the names of what they needed in their minds. When you reach the steps, just read it out. This ray of cause and effect will bless you. Li Bai said slowly. Yes, sir. Yes, master. You are listening to novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Start, Invincible, met the Empress's apprentice. Author, Ben Pao de la Chang. Chapter 323. Alright, dear geniuses, please be quiet. Next, I will explain the rules of the road to immortality in detail. The Quasi-Emperor Elder said slowly to all the geniuses. Suddenly, the originally extremely noisy environment suddenly became extremely quiet. The road to immortality is divided into 999 levels. The first 300 levels are a test of your physique. Moreover, you can only use your own physique to resist the pressure. The pressure you face will be a level higher than your own, and you must also be careful. If some phantom attacks successfully pass the 300 steps, congratulations, you have obtained the qualifications of an outer disciple. The 300th to 500th floors are a test of your talents. You cannot use your own physique. You can only use the techniques you have learned. Remember, you have learned them yourself. If you are caught using any technique other than your own strength, you will be immediately disqualified. Speaking of this, the Quasi-Emperor Elder glanced at the evil geniuses of the big clans. He also knew that these geniuses must have something given by their elders. Elder, please rest assured, we will never do it, and we don't even care. Qin Feng said with a stern look, his goal is the throne, even, the emperor. The same goes for us, please don't worry, Elder. Immediately Wu Shui, Qin Miao Miao and others also responded. Well, if you successfully pass the 500 levels, you will be qualified as an inner disciple. The 500th floor to the 700th floor is a test of understanding. You must understand one of the techniques of our immortal sword Heavenly Palace and practice it to perfection before you can pass the 700th floor. As for the 700th to 800th floors, it's the real competition. On every step, there will be a genius who has been a saint in our immortal sword palace, or there may be other disciples who are talented and evil. Similarly, their realm will be higher than yours. A big realm used to bridge the gap between the shadow and the body. The 800th and 900th floors are the shadow of our former emperor. As for the last 99 levels, they are the most evil disciples in the history of our immortal sword heavenly palace, and the further back they go, the more powerful and terrifying they become. In the last 7 levels, what you have to face is the young emperor, our immortal sword emperor. The 7 great emperors of the heavenly palace. Originally, the last layer was the shadow of the creator of our immortal sword heavenly palace, but now it has been replaced by our first generation palace master. And this person's identity must be known to you. And, I will make a promise right now. As long as this person can pass the 3 phantoms of the emperor, this person can obtain the position of Son of Heaven or Lady of Heaven. Alright, dear geniuses, please continue to work hard. Now, let's start ascending to immortality. When the quasi-emperor elder finished speaking, all the assessment disciples quickly took the first step on the road to immortality like a flood. Suddenly, a pressure appeared on everyone. At the same time, everyone felt as if their bodies were bound by something. They could only use their own physique to resist this pressure. Fortunately, they took the first 100 steps. Everyone walked very easily. After all, the disciple who has reached this stage is not the best. Come on, let's place your bets. I've already released the odds of the evil geniuses from all the imperial clans. Welcome, senior brothers and sisters, to come and place your bets. Holy crap, are the odds of these imperial clan monsters and geniuses so low? Nonsense, you might as well fart. 100,000 immortal sword spirit crystals, I will defeat Qin Feng and win the position of Holy Sun. Immortal sword spirit crystal is the unique currency of immortal sword Tiangong. It can be exchanged for various techniques, elixirs, weapons, and even some followers in the immortal sword Tiangong library. Generally speaking, the outer sect disciples can receive 30,000 per month, the inner sect can receive 100,000, the core can receive 500,000, the Holy Sun can receive 1 million, and the Emperor can receive 5 million. As for the Emperor, he can do whatever he wants. Dominate. Even though there are a lot of fairy crystals, the price for what you want to exchange is also ridiculously high. Not only that, the cost of some elixirs is enough to make many disciples go crazy. And the higher the status, the greater the right to purchase permission. This also results in the stronger the disciple, the stronger, and the weaker one can only stand still. Of course, there are some exceptions. In addition, Fairy Sword Heavenly Palace will also release some tasks from time to time. These tasks are all paid, but you have to do what you can. There was once an outer disciple of this generation who completed a mission of 1 billion immortal swords and spirit crystals, and finally became the Emperor's son. While the geniuses were struggling to climb the road to immortality, streams of light flashed across the immortal sword palace, accompanied by waves of extremely powerful auras. I saw 15 men and women, dressed in holy attire, slowly appearing in front of everyone. Damn it, why are both the Holy Sun and the Holy Lady here? We should come here to see if any of these disciples are talented enough to obtain the holy title. Immediately, these saints also placed bets. I didn't expect that you, the first Holy Sun, would actually bet on it. At this moment, a female saint looked at an ordinary-looking man in front of her and said slowly. This person, named Xuanhuan, is the first person to hold the holy position in the immortal sword heavenly palace. He has a God King bone and a God King sword body. Logically speaking, this kind of talent is not considered powerful. If he can get the core identity, it is considered good. Got it? It's just that Xuanhuan has a talent that is so unbelievable that he is now a half-step God King, but he has mastered a forbidden avenue, and this forbidden avenue is also the sword, which directly makes up for his physical weakness, and he has gained the first holy position. I can't help it. I heard that at this disciple recruitment conference, a lot of evil disciples from the imperial clan have appeared. Naturally, I want to come over and take a look. Zhang Hao said lightly, exuding a weak forbidden power. Haha, Zhang Hao, are you preparing to attack the throne? Another holy son said with great excitement, his name is Su Hai, and he is the second holy son. As long as Zhang Hao can be promoted to the throne, then the position of the first holy son must be his. Don't underestimate the number 1 and number 2. There is a big gap between the cultivation resource licensing rights obtained by the two. Well, it's almost done. After this apprenticeship conference is over, I will challenge the throne, but I'm not too sure. Zhang Hao said slowly, if you want to be promoted from the holy throne to the emperor, you must defeat an emperor's son or emperor's daughter. Of course, you can choose at will. But after all, they are the emperor's son and daughter, how can it be so easy to get them? There are now 10 emperor sons and daughters, including 5 god kings and 5 half-step god kings, so he must choose an opponent from among the 5 half-step god kings. It's okay, I believe you can do it. After all, you have a forbidden path. Yes, yes, Zhang Hao, you must be promoted to the throne and let the sons and daughters of the emperor know that our holy throne is not to be trifled with. The saints and saints on the side also cheered for Zhang Hao. Hope so. Zhang Hao showed a bitter smile. Over the countless epochs of the immortal sword heavenly palace, there have been very few people who have been promoted from the holy position to the Taoist emperor. What is an emperor's son or an emperor's daughter? They are disciples who have a great chance of being promoted to the emperor in the future. Their natural talents, understanding, Dao mentality, etc. are all crushing them, not to mention the resources they have cultivated. All I can say is, there is little hope. Okay, let's not talk about these things anymore. Who did you bet on? Zhang Hao asked slowly. Start, Invincible, met the Empress's apprentice. Author, Ben Pao de la Chang. Chapter 324. The Qin Feng I bet on was promoted to the Holy Son. Hee, this is a deal that will never lose money, but it's a pity that I made too little. Qin Feng? Is he the son of the Qin family? Zhang Hao asked slowly. Yes, Qin Feng and Qin Shuang, they are siblings, but Qin Feng's talent is a little stronger. Both of them have the strongest body and the blood of the emperor. What physique! Qin Feng seems to be the heavenly tyrant body, which can compete with the ancient saint body. And Qin Shuang's is the 1000-era divine body. If she can be promoted to the 10,000-era divine body, she can also compete with her brother. Su Hai said slowly. It's amazing, there are 2 strongest physiques. I think Wu Shui is not bad either, she was born with the wisdom and the heart of wisdom. Although her physique is not as strong as the strongest body, it is not much worse. If she can get the wisdom bone, she can definitely kill people at will. Bullshit, Qin Miao Miao is not good, she has the holy body of Qin Dao, she can be said to be the daughter of Qin Dao, and her strength is also extremely strong. She used to kill people with a saint, killing dozens of saint kings and a saint. Haha, I think you are just greedy for her beauty. A saint said disdainfully. A gentleman is good at marrying a beautiful lady. Hearing everyone's comments, Zhang Hao had no choice but to look at everyone on the road to immortality, and his eyes gradually became uneasy. This era is indeed a golden age, and so many evil geniuses have emerged. How is it possible? Just as Zhang Hao's eyes swept over Li Bai and the other 2 behind him, his eyes kept trembling and he whispered hoarsely. How is it possible? The forbidden avenue in my body is actually, afraid. What kind of identity is that young man? At this time, Li Bai's eyes happened to look at Zhang Hao. In an instant, Zhang Hao felt that all his secrets were seen through. Li Bai just glanced at him lightly and turned his eyes away. It was really amazing to be able to master a forbidden avenue at this age and this realm, but for Li Bai, it was just like that. He had seen some geniuses born with 9 forbidden avenues. In contrast, Zhang Hao seemed extremely small. Zhang Hao, what's wrong with you? Nothing, nothing, I might have seen it wrong. Zhang Hao resisted the shock in his heart and said calmly. By the way, who are those people? Zhang Hao pointed at Li Bai and the other three, and the other saints looked in the direction of his sight, and also had a little doubt. No, they are all at the Saint Venerable level, how could they be at the end? In theory, those who can reach the Saint Venerable level at this age are all outstanding, how can they not be as good as those saints? I found it. That woman, named Xuanhuan Mei, is at the Saint Venerable level, and her physique is a god-level physique. Although it is not as strong as the strongest body, there is room for growth. Xuanhuan? Does our Wangu upper realm have the Xuanhuan imperial clan? At least not in my knowledge. I seem to have heard that in the fairy land there is a Xuanhuan imperial clan. You mean, this Xuanhuan Mei is from the fairy land? I'm just guessing, maybe he is not from the imperial clan. As for the blonde man, he is from the nine-headed lion clan, and is also a saint. His name is, damn, what kind of name is it, Iargoza? Iargoza? Ha ha ha, this name is so funny. Ha ha ha, I heard that the nine-headed lion clan gave their descendants such names because they are easy to raise. Where is the man in the lead? Zhang Hao asked impatiently. At this time, the saint showed an extremely puzzled expression on his face. What's wrong? His name is Li Bai, and his realm is Saint Venerable. I don't know anything else. I only know that his physique is that of a king. So mysterious. He looks very unfamiliar. Could he be from another region? Who knows? But judging from their appearance, they can only get the core position at most. It's a pity for the Saint Venerable realm. Normal. If they come from a small force, they must focus on improving their realm. However, Zhang Hao doesn't think so. How can an ordinary person be afraid of the forbidden avenue in his body? What's more, the look just now doesn't look like that of a Saint Venerable. Even when facing the palace master, there is no such strong sense of oppression. I'll bet all on this Li Bai and get the throne. After thinking for a while, Zhang Hao gritted his teeth and said that he believed in his intuition. If he bet right, he would get hundreds of millions of fairy sword spirit crystals, which would just be a skill he had been coveting for a long time. What the hell, the throne? Zhang Hao, are you crazy? You know the odds of the three of them, not to mention that you are betting on the throne. Yeah, Zhang Hao, if you bet on those emperors, we wouldn't say anything, but... Zhang Hao, think about it carefully. If you lose, you won't have any fairy sword crystals. Zhang Hao, what are you thinking? That's right, everyone's odds are updated in real time, especially Li Bai and the other two, who are obviously saints but are not as good as some saints. Some people naturally regard them as fat tigers, and their odds are also frighteningly high. I don't know either, I just have a hunch that the man in white is terrible, terrible beyond words. You don't have to persuade me, I believe in my intuition. Oh, okay. Time passed by, and soon some saint disciples with weaker talents were eliminated. They might be able to hold on for the first 200 floors, but they couldn't hold on for the last 10 floors. After all, the pressure on each floor increased exponentially. Only Qin Feng and his geniuses looked calm. Soon, all these saints' geniuses had crossed the 300 floors. Look, Qin Feng is the one who has crossed the 300th floor. It's really scary, but Wu Shui and Du Gukaiubai are not much behind. After the 700th floor, the gap really starts to widen. Of course, Li Bai and the other two are exceptions. Not only did they not step over the 300th floor, but they became the last people and were still walking on more than 100 floors. And some saint disciples who passed by them all showed contempt on their faces. The three saints were not as good as their saints. It was really a waste of realm. Soon, there was no one in the first 300 floors, only Li Bai and the other two were left. Start, Invincible, met the Empress's apprentice. Author, Ben Pao de la Chang. Chapter 325. The scene between Li Bai and the three of them was naturally seen by countless people from the Immortal Sword Heavenly Palace. Holy crap, what's going on with these three people? Obviously they are in the Holy Realm, but now they are at the bottom, and now there are only 3 of them in the entire first 300 floors. There can't be anything fishy in it, right? Even if it's a swollen saint, he's still a saint, unless they use elixirs to forcibly improve their realm. It is probably the last resort of some people from small tribes in order to join the Immortal Sword Heavenly Palace. However, cleverness is mistaken for cleverness. The strength forcibly enhanced by pills will not be able to reach the stage after all, and it will be difficult to reach the Hall of Elegance. But if you look carefully at the faces of the 3 of them, they are very calm. They don't look like they are just pretending. So what, that's the first impression anyway. I probably won't enter our fairy sword heavenly palace. It's a pity that the realm of the Holy Lord was given to me. If it were given to me, I would have become a core disciple long ago, and I could even have a chance to achieve the Holy Throne. Pull him down. So what if I give you the realm of a saint based on your talent? It's as if the other saints and saints are not saints. Their talents and physiques are higher than yours. At this moment, the 3 people in Ling Ai ignored everyone's disdainful looks. Would the dragon care about the ant's looks? Master, it's true as you said. These steps have indeed improved my understanding of the imperial way. Every time I take a step, I will gain a little more understanding. Urgoza said excitedly from the side. Well, even someone as supreme as me can actually have some insights. Although they are extremely small, if I were to realize them alone, it might take tens of thousands of years. Ling Biao also frowned and said with a smile as bright as a flower. I have to say that the sword immortal is truly amazing. He was able to create such a path to immortality. The first 300 steps were created from the origins of 300 great emperors. Li Bai said lightly, the more this happens, the more he wants to meet the sword immortal himself and see what kind of person he is. The origin of 300 great emperors. Damn it! Could it be that the sword immortal massacred more than 300 great emperors? Urgoza said in horror. It is true that some of them were massacred by him, but more of them were corpses that fell during the great battle in the Taishu era. Hiss, young master, you're not talking about the Origin War, are you? Ling Biao whispered from the side, his eyes flashing crazily. I can't sense it wrong. Could it be that the sword immortal survived that battle? This would be too scary. This possibility is very small, because the creatures who survived that war cannot go to the darkness. They know the pros and cons, and understand the horror of the original darkness, and will not step into the darkness at will. The most likely possibility is that the sword immortal was born at the end of Taibei, at the beginning of chaos. Li Bai said slowly. I see. Okay, let's continue walking. This road to immortality is indeed a rare opportunity for you. You must understand it well. Okay, sir. Okay, master. In the void on the other side, dozens of quasi-emperor elders saw Li Bai and the others and said to Xuanhuan. Palace master, I'm afraid you really made a mistake this time. Yes, palace master, the 3 of them are in the saint realm, but they can't even compare to some saint realm disciples. Palace master, let's keep our sights on Qin Feng, those evil geniuses from the imperial clan. At this moment, Xuanhuan had a solemn look on his face, and his eyes kept flashing with light, and then he said to the elders. Have you not noticed that these 3 people will stop for a moment every time they step on the stairs, and the stay time is also the same? Not only that, except for the young man in white, the other 2 seem to become more aura after passing each step. Palace master, just say it straight, we really can't see through it. Yes, Palace Master, stop playing riddles. A group of elders said with great confusion. Humph, the immortal sword Heavenly Palace trained you to create a bunch of trash. You can't even observe this little thing. Have you already reached the quasi-emperor level on a dog? Xuanhuan frowned. Although his voice was extremely calm, it was filled with great anger. Suddenly, many quasi-emperor elders turned pale after being scolded by Xuanhuan, but they really couldn't see what was special about these three people. If I had to say it, the man in the middle was a bit handsome. No wonder, our fairy sword Heavenly Palace is getting worse every year. We are all short-sighted people like you. You only focus on those imperial clan geniuses. Have you forgotten that some of you are also from humble backgrounds? Xuanhuan's tone gradually became extremely cold, and at the same time, he was also sending a subtle signal, that is, their position as elder may not be guaranteed. Suddenly, all the elders' faces were livid, without a trace of blood. What they were afraid of was not Xuanhuan's anger, but fear that Xuanhuan would remove them from their positions. After all, as elders, they can obtain massive resources from the fairy sword Heavenly Palace every year. Moreover, this time among the Imperial clan monsters, they also received some benefits from the Imperial clan. Boom! Suddenly, all the elders knelt down and said in great horror, "Palace Master, please look at all we have done for the immortal sword Heavenly Palace over the years and spare us this time. Palace Master, we have realized our mistake. Palace Master, please don't kick us out of the fairy sword Heavenly Palace." All the elders cried bitterly and begged for mercy, asking Xuanhuan to give them a chance. It's just this once. If there is another time, you know the consequences. Xuanhuan said lightly. Of course he knew everything these elders did secretly, but the merit was not worth it. They did work hard for the development of Fairy Sword Heavenly Palace, but they needed to be beaten. Yes, Palace Master, we will comply. Thank you, Palace Master. Okay, get up quickly, it's so embarrassing. Xuanhuan said in disgust. Palace Master, we really can't figure out these three people, please give us some advice. This is, an elder who is quite prestigious among the disciples of Immortal Sword Tiangong asked slowly. You have also embarked on the road to immortality. During the first 300 levels, you didn't feel anything abnormal. Xuanhuan asked slowly. This. Hearing these words, the group of elders scratched their heads in confusion. When they were on the immortal road, they only focused on rushing up, and they didn't pay attention to other things. That's all, I really can't blame you for this matter. I can only tell you that the first 300 people on the road to immortality are made from the origin of the Emperor, and each step has the origin of the Emperor. Xuanhuan said slowly, even he only discovered it in the last few floors. Only the evil genius like him discovered it in the last few floors, not to mention these elders. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Start, Invincible, met the Empress's apprentice. Author, Benpao de la Chang. Chapter 326. What? The origin of the great emperor. How is it possible? The origin of 300 great emperors also means that 300 great emperors have fallen. All the elders' expressions suddenly became horrified, and their eyes flashed with disbelief. If it weren't for Xuanhuan's own words, they would definitely curse this man to death. Palace Master, are you telling the truth? I feel like I've missed something huge. Of course it's true. After all, I didn't realize it until the last few floors. Xuanhuan nodded and said. At this time, these elders thought about this sentence, looked at Li Bai and the others, immediately covered their mouths, and said tremblingly. Palace Master, do you mean, could it be? How is this possible? They are only in the realm of the Holy Lord. How could they be aware of the origin of the great emperor? Although it is unbelievable, this is the fact. Every time the three of them step on a level, they feel the origin of the great emperor. Although they cannot understand it, it has a huge influence on their future path. Promote. Not only that, they feel it from the very first step. There are only two possibilities for this: either, their talent is too evil, and they will feel it the moment they set foot on the road to immortality. The second is that they know it in advance, but the probability is very small, so small that it can be ignored. Xuanhuan nodded and said, the second one should be impossible. After all, if you hadn't told me, Palace Master, we wouldn't have known. Damn, if this is really the case, then how evil these three people must be. Damn, I sat up in shock when I was dying. The clown is actually me. Damn it, I've reached the quasi-emperor level in vain, and I can't compare to three saints. I really want to kill myself with a piece of tofu. Haha, we are not qualified to teach such a disciple at all. No wonder the palace owner said that he can't even see through it. At this time, an elder frowned and said, Palace Master, it's impossible for such a monster to have no reputation at all. What's more, the fact that they dare to feel it in front of everyone shows that they are confident. Do you think, could they be people from other regions? Oh, that's good. Have you gained some brains? Xuanhuan glanced at the elder and said, Hey, it's just a guess. After all, this is too weird. Three such evil people appear out of thin air. It's really hard for people not to be suspicious. Well, what you said makes sense, but I just checked and found that the blonde-haired young man is of the nine-headed lion lineage, and that woman also has an aura unique to our eternal upper world. Nine-headed lions, when did this lineage show such a monster's back? Perhaps the bloodline has returned to the ancestors. Then, Xuanhuan changed the subject. As for the person leading the charge, I can't see it, and I can't deduce it. Palace Master, do you need us to send someone to investigate thoroughly? No need, I want to see how far they can go. Xuanhuan shook his head and said, After all, the immortal sword Heavenly Palace is a force of the 7 emperors. As long as the Spirit Clan and the Daijun Clan remain in the entire eternal upper realm, they are the absolute controllers. They still have this confidence. By the way, Palace Master, I wonder if we can go on the road to immortality again. Hee, I thought so too. All the elders rubbed their hands and looked at Xuanhuan eagerly. Humph, give up on this idea. Everyone only has one chance on the road to immortality. Damn, I feel like I missed the chance to become emperor. Ah, it seems like we are going back in time. Soon, Li Bai and the others also passed the 300th floor, but now they were far away from the main force. At this moment, Qin Feng and others have stepped through the 400th floor. On this floor, some phantoms of creatures will appear from time to time, and they can only rely on Kung Fu to defeat them. Insidious killing. Godly light of wisdom. The frost is thousands of miles away. The sword of destruction. Along with the appearance of these moves, it also feasted the eyes of countless disciples watching the battle. Holy shit, you are worthy of being a proud member of the Imperial clan. These skills are really terrifying. It's so irritating to see people compare to each other. Alas, some people were born in Rome, so they can't compare. Eternal Divine Fist. Qin Feng punched out, immediately blasting away the phantom of the Holy Realm in front of him. Haha, they are a bunch of trash, they can't withstand a punch from my son. I said you must not pull me down. Qin Feng glanced at the imperial genius next to him lightly and said disdainfully. Damn it, Qin Feng, what are you pretending to be? That's right, we all know each other's strength well, you're the only one who's showing off, what about us? Xiao Feng, have you forgotten your father's teaching not to make it public? Qin Shuang on the side said with an unhappy expression and grabbed Qin Feng's ears. Hey, sister, be gentle, and save some face for me outside. Qin Feng said aggrievedly that although he was arrogant and domineering, he was still extremely well behaved in front of Qin Shuang. After all, their mother died early, not long after giving birth to Qin Feng. As the saying goes, an elder sister is like a mother, so in Qin Feng's heart, Qin Shuang is like his own mother. Humph, I've told you not to underestimate the world, why don't you listen? Qin Shuang said unhappily. Oh, sister, I'm just pretending, I promise I won't do it next time. Humph, you better. Qin Shuang gave Qin Feng a threatening look. Ha ha ha, Xiao Fengzi, you are still afraid of your sister as always. Tisk tisk, so embarrassing. Wu Shui on the side said with a smile, her face full of teasing. Since Qin Feng is the youngest and they all know him, they just call him Xiao Fengzi. Wu Shui, don't think that you are my sister's best friend, so I dare not hit you. Qin Feng said angrily. Everyone knows Qin Feng's temper. Although he is a little arrogant and unruly, he is kind by nature and has never bullied others. He may have been suppressed for too long and needs to release it. Hey, little brother Qin Feng, where are you going to hit me? I'm so scared, Wuo. But you are still too young. Come and hit me when you grow up. When the time comes, I will make you feel comfortable. Wu Shui said coquettishly. Sister, look at her, she is so coquettish. Not only that, she also drove in public and seduced me. Qin Feng was so angry that he directly pulled Qin Shuang to complain. Although he was a little greedy, he didn't dare to show it now. You vixen, don't pay attention to my brother, he is still young. Oh, Xuanhuan, you mean, I can take action when he grows up, and I think she is not young either. Wu Shui stuck to Qin Shuang's face and said with a smile, while her eyes intentionally or unintentionally swept across Qin Feng's crotch. The latter immediately covered his crotch with a look of vigilance. Start, Invincible, met the Empress's apprentice. Author, Ben Pao de la Chang. Chapter 327. Get out of here. You girl, why are you so perverted? Qin Shuang said with a slightly red face, mainly because Wu Shui blew hot air into her ear from time to time, which made her so itchy. Oh, you're blushing. Slut, don't tease my sister. Qin Feng on the side saw this and rushed forward with all his teeth and claws. Okay, let's stop making trouble and take the main road to immortality. Wu Shui immediately regained her composure and said calmly. By the way, have you noticed the last three people? At this time, Dugu Kaiubai, who had been silent all this time, said slowly. Of course I have noticed that the three saints are at the end. It is difficult not to attract our attention. Wu Shui turned her head and glanced at Li Bai and the others and said. However, it is really strange. It is obviously the realm of the Holy Lord, but it falls at the end. It really puzzles me. Qin Miao Miao also said softly at this time. That's right, and I can see that the three of them are extremely solid, even better than us. It's impossible for them to be forcibly improved with pills. Whatever, maybe he has some secrets, but having said that, the one in the middle is really handsome, and he also has an extremely unique temperament. Who knows, my family, I can't stand it anymore, just, looking at this face, I just. Wu Shui blushed and whispered softly. Xiaoxiu, you are a girl after all, can you be more reserved? Qin Shuang held her forehead on the side and said helplessly. No, these are not the point. Dugu Kaiubai shook his head and said. Why, is it possible that you know something, or are you aware of something? Qin Feng said disdainfully from the side. The three of them crossed the steps and stayed for the same time, as if, they were deliberately waiting for something. Not only that, there was no wave on their faces, as if the pressure didn't exist at all. Even when we climbed the 300 steps, even though it was not strenuous, there was still a little expression on our faces. Not only that, those three people gave me a very scary feeling, much more dangerous than you. Backslash. Especially any man in white, there is always a hint of sword intent in his body, and this sword intent is more terrifying than the master of our Wanjian sect. Dugukaiubai said slowly. When the geniuses heard these words, they also showed doubtful expressions. They didn't care about the previous words. What they cared about was Dugukaiubai's last words. The leader of Wanjian sect is a great emperor, and now Dugukaiubai actually said that the sword intention of the man in white is more terrifying than the great emperor. How can they believe this? But they also understand Dugukaiubai's character and will never can tell even the slightest lie. You mean, they're suppressing? Pretend to be a pig and eat the tiger. I'm not so sure either. Dugukaiubai shook his head and said. Forget it, none of this has much to do with us, our goal is the throne. Xuanhuan said from the side. Yes, let's speed up. After saying that, the geniuses started to sprint directly. Damn, what's going on? Why did Qin Feng and the others suddenly speed up? Is it possible that you were stimulated by something? I don't know, anyway, I only care about whether Qin Feng can reach the Holy Throne. On the other side, Li Bai and the others were still crossing the steps nonchalantly. The phantoms that appeared were all eliminated by three people with one move. This scene was naturally seen by countless disciples. Holy crap, it's all three of them, can you solve it with one move? Is it possible that our guess was wrong and that these three people are actually bosses? But why does the boss do this? Hee, you don't understand this. Showing off, pretending to be a pig and eating the tiger, this is the bad taste of some big guys. Damn, so shameless. By the way, does the man in white in the middle have any eye skills? I think he took one look at the shadow and killed him directly. Eye technique. That shouldn't be the case. Isn't it true that all pupil techniques, like double pupil, come with one's own physique? But after the 300th level, you can't use your own physique. Look further, maybe these three people will bring us surprises. It's so boring. Sir, if that doesn't work, let's just fast forward to the end. Urgoza said with a bored look, he thought he would have some insights after the 300th level, but now it seems like a pity. Don't be anxious, you guys should take a good look at it. Li Bai said lightly. After hearing these words, Ling Ai and Urgoza immediately became serious and realized, but they still didn't feel anything after a moment. Sir, we really can't understand it. Yes, Master, there is nothing. Lingya and Urgoza said with great confusion. This time, you guys are having a good time. After finishing speaking, Li Bai touched the current step. In an instant, the steps they were going up seemed to resonate. The steps continued to exude divine light, and the charm of the avenue continued to flow. Is this the origin of the avenue? Holy crap, it really is the origin of the avenue, and the steps above us are all forbidden avenues, 49 in total. Damn it, what did this swordsman do and why did he master so many forbidden avenues? After Urgoza finished speaking, he stepped directly onto the next level. His, forbidden destruction. Forbidden nothingness. Forbidden death. Forbidden purgatory. Ah, I'm going crazy. After Urgoza stepped up the 4 steps, his eyes widened and he said that he had only mastered 4 taboo avenues in total now, and he was still at the bottom of the taboos. Sir, these 200 levels, couldn't they all be the origin of the Great Avenue? Lingye swallowed his saliva and said with great envy. Yes, those below the 200 floors are composed of the origin of the Superior Avenue, and the remaining 49 floors are composed of the origin of the Forbidden Avenue. And, These avenues are all controlled by him personally. Li Bai said with a smile. It's so terrifying. He is worthy of being one of the top 10 emperors in the Eternal Emperor list. He is so unpredictable. Ling Ye smiled bitterly and said, although she is supreme now, she has only mastered 11 taboo avenues, and has reached a saturated state. Generally speaking, there are a number of taboo avenues that the emperor can master. After this number, not only can you not master it, but you can't even possess it. But for someone like the Sword Immortal, it is obviously beyond Ling Bai's cognition. Start, Invincible, met the Empress's apprentice. Author, Ben Pao de la Chang. Chapter 328. By the way, if you want to master it, I can let you choose the appropriate forbidden avenue and integrate it into your body now. Li Bai said lightly. No need, young master, I have reached saturation. Yours, Ergoza. He, master, although I am very envious, but, I still want to understand it by myself. Ergoza said with a smile. Not bad. You made the most correct choice. Others things are others things after all. Even if they are two identical forbidden avenues, they will be different after the two emperors understand them. Li Bai nodded and said. This scene was naturally seen by countless disciples. What's going on? These steps, why are they glowing? Who knows? I didn't notice it when I ascended to the immortal road. Damn, it's really weird. Why are these three people so weird? As for these quasi-emperor elders in the void, they were already dazed. After a long time, they came back to their senses, pursed their lips, looked at each other and said. Just now, was the breath of the Forbidden Avenue. Yes, it was definitely. Although it was only 1/10,000th of a second, I still caught it. What is going on here? The road to immortality, we don't know as much as 3 outsiders. Too humming weird. Palace Master, do you know that there is a forbidden avenue on this step? An elder asked slowly. If I knew, I would be so surprised. Alas, I didn't expect that I, the Palace Master, couldn't even see through my own road to immortality. Xuanhuan said with a bitter smile. Then, his eyes became extremely solemn, staring at Li Bai, and murmured. Who are you, and what is your purpose? At this moment, Xuanhuan was sure that Li Bai and the other two had definitely hidden their identities, and their true strength might exceed his expectations. Then, Li Bai and the other two did not stop for too long and directly climbed to the 500th floor. At this moment, there was a group of Tianjiao standing every 50 floors. The higher they went, the more Tianjiao there were. Everyone was comprehending, even Qin Feng and others were sitting cross-legged on the last few steps to comprehend the skills. As time passed, more and more Tianjiao gradually turned pale, and drops of sweat kept falling. Finally, a Tianjiao couldn't hold on. I give up. It's so difficult to comprehend this skill, not to mention to practice it to perfection. If I had known earlier, I would have chosen the lowest one. I also gave up. It's a fool's dream to want to practice to perfection in a short period of time. Woo, I was wrong. I will never be arrogant again. Then, the qualifications of these Tianjiao were also eliminated. They couldn't blame others. They were all at the Saint King level. They had to comprehend the most difficult skills like Qin Feng wanted them to. Who could they blame? The rules do not say that you must comprehend these top-level techniques. These guys deserve it. Our elders have reminded us before that it is best to comprehend what suits your realm. Yeah, can they compare with those imperial monsters? The later they are eliminated, the more advantageous it is. They do not understand this truth. Joining the Fairy Sword Palace first is the kingly way. At this moment, these monsters from the Big Clan and the Imperial Clan suddenly exuded a wisp of terrifying aura. Obviously, They have comprehended the techniques and have made further progress. It can be said that this level is the level where the most geniuses are eliminated. After all, comprehension is too ethereal, unless there is a physique that can enhance comprehension in a short period of time. However, there are also some lucky disciples. When they were eliminated, the 1,000 places for outer disciples were not full. In other words, now these geniuses, even if they are eliminated, can also enter the Fairy Sword Palace. Who do you think will be the first to comprehend the technique and complete the practice? I think it should be among the evildoers of the Imperial clan. Not necessarily, I think the last 3 people have a chance. After all, they are too weird. Maybe they are really strong, but now they are far behind, not to mention that the higher the realm, the stronger the comprehension. While everyone was still discussing, a disciple in the saint realm below suddenly opened his eyes, and his whole body exuded an extremely hot sword intent, which was like being roasted in a sea of fire. Afterwards, this disciple in the saint realm slowly walked to the 500th floor. In front of him was a barrier. Every disciple who had comprehended the technique must perform it on the barrier. If it was perfect, the barrier would automatically disappear. Look, that saint, what is he going to do? Could it be that he has already cultivated to perfection? Damn, how is that possible? He comprehended the technique above the 400th level. Although it is not as good as what Qin Feng and the others have comprehended, it is also extremely difficult. Is he crazy? Then, this saint disciple pointed his finger as a sword and swung it out. Boom! In an instant, a sword technique formed by the gathering of flames directly penetrated the barrier, and the next moment, the barrier disappeared directly. And this disciple stepped into the next level with a calm face. He passed, he really passed. I know this burning sword intent, it's the Divine King's law, the fire-burning sword technique. Damn, how long has it been, and he has cultivated to perfection. Damn, is his comprehension stronger than those monsters of the imperial family? Generally speaking, a genius who reaches this level, even an extremely monster, needs at least 2 days to cultivate to perfection. And this disciple only took a few hours. It can only be said that his comprehension is too amazing. Soon, to everyone's surprise, the identity of this disciple was found out. Han Chen, a saint, comes from the lower realm, and his physique is not that strong. He must be hiding something. Tisk tisk, this kind of comprehension, could it be that he has the wisdom bone? Although the wisdom bone has a strong comprehension, it is not the main comprehension. I have seen it in a historical record. Maybe it has the heart of comprehension. The heart of comprehension, what is it? Why haven't I heard of it? The heart of comprehension, to put it bluntly, can make a person's comprehension, in a short period of time, crazy improvement, even in the battle, enter the state of enlightenment. Epiphany, you know, it's something you can encounter but not seek. If that's true, it's really awesome. I didn't expect to see such a rare heart of comprehension. On the other side, countless elders also had light in their eyes. This boy, although his realm is low, his physique is still good. The most important thing is that this comprehension is really against the sky. Even I, who was in the same period, can't compare with it. Xuanhuan nodded and said. Then, Palace Master, do you want to take him as your disciple? An elder next to him asked slowly. I have no intention of doing that. If his physique is the strongest, or if his realm reaches the Saint Venerable, I might be willing to take him as my disciple. Just considering his comprehension, it is not enough to attract me. If that's the case, then let's fight for it. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Start, Invincible, met the Empress's apprentice. Author, Ben Pao de la Chang. Chapter 329. Soon, a group of elders fell into a battle. However, when Han Chen entered the 700th floor, his disadvantages gradually became apparent. It took him more than 10 minutes to pass the challenge of the 10th layer of phantoms. As Xuanhuan said, Han Chen just had an incomprehensible understanding, and the blessing to his current combat power was very small. Sure enough, this Han Chen only has an incredible understanding, and his own fighting power is not strong. That's right. What's more, he was born in the lower world before, and he was still a small force at the quasi-emperor level in the lower world. There are not so many heaven-defying techniques for him to understand. It's a pity. If this Han Chen had been practicing in our fairy sword heavenly palace since he was a child, he might be extremely terrifying. At this moment, although Han Chen knows his true strength and may not be qualified to set foot on the 700th floor, he has a last resort reason. Ming Lao, are you sure there is a technique on the 799th floor that can change my life? After Han Chen killed more than a dozen phantoms of geniuses, his face turned pale and he asked slowly in his heart. Of course, I can't be wrong. This technique is even enough for you to become the mythical emperor. After a moment, an old voice slowly entered Han Chen's mind. But, I'm not sure that I can even reach the 799th floor. As you can see, I am exhausted from just these dozen levels, not to mention that the higher you go up, the stronger the shadows become. Han Chen said bitterly, feeling a sense of powerlessness in his heart. Even if he had a heart of understanding, what's the use? The rest of his talents and physique were far different from those of the imperial clan disciples. Oh, Xiaoqinzi, I also know that this is indeed like a chasm for you, but, if you want to change your life, you must get that skill. I can't help you on this road to immortality. However, you can understand while fighting. If you can break through to the Saint King, it will undoubtedly increase the possibility. Ming Lao's voice came again. I understand, Mr. Ming, I will try my best. An extremely determined look appeared on Han Chen's face. Soon, 2 days have passed. For practitioners, it is just a blink of an eye. At the same moment, Qin Feng and others opened their eyes one after another, exuding a different aura. Finally, cultivation is complete. Qin Feng said slowly. I didn't expect that we are almost the same. Haha, I'm 1 second faster than you. Qin Feng said provocatively. Yes, Xiao Fengzi, just 1 second, so fast, so fast. Wu Shui, you are driving again. Bah, vile. Okay, let's move on to the next level. After Dugu Kaiubai finished speaking, he faintly swung his sword at the barrier. He was majoring in swordsmanship, so the skill he chose was naturally swordsmanship. Soon, all the disciples of the imperial clan and the great clans have stepped into the 700th level, this huge watershed. Look, Qin Feng and the others have already entered the 700th floor. In less than 2 days, it's faster than we expected. What a bunch of monsters. The moment Qin Feng and the others passed through, Li Bai and the others also passed through the 700th floor at once. For them, it only took an instant for them to comprehend a skill and practice it to perfection. Master, why isn't the immortal sword hiding some peerless skills on this floor? Urguzi asked slowly. Do you think you can understand even if he hides it? Li Bai asked back. This seems to be true. Although this level is not as good as the first and second levels, there are some things contained in these steps that are still useful to us. Ling Biao said slowly from the side. Okay, let's speed up. Although there are a lot of things hidden in these steps at the back, they are dispensable to you. The most important thing is after the 900th floor. Li Bai said lightly. Master, what is hidden in these steps? On this floor, there are 9 imperial arts, 1 mythical technique, and on the 799th floor, There is also a secret technique of chaos. Secret technique of chaos. Ling Biao's eyes lit up instantly and he said excitedly. Sir, is it just like the Qing Emperor's Chaos Green Lotus technique and the Empress of the other side's secret technique of reincarnation? When Ergozi heard these words, he was instantly interested. Although he was from the eternal upper realm, the fame of the Qing Emperor and the Empress of the other shore spread throughout the world, especially the Qing Emperor. And even appeared on the eternal emperor ranking. Even an eternal being from the upper world like Ergozi knows a lot about Qingdi. Holy shit, master, is there really a secret technique of chaos? How can a creature like Qingdi practice secret techniques? Ergozi said with a chuckle. Well, it is indeed one of the major chaos secret arts. However, you don't have to think about it. Without the heart to understand, it is impossible to understand this secret technique. Li Bai said lightly. Oh fine. Sure enough, the conditions for the chaos secret technique are too harsh. The Chaos Green Lotus technique requires the Chaos Green Lotus body, which is the body of the Azure Emperor. The reincarnation secret technique requires becoming the holy body of reincarnation and becoming the Lord of reincarnation. That is Empress of the other shore. Alas, this is really out of reach for us. Ling Mei sighed. Sister Ling Mei, from what you said, you seem to know these two very well. I remember that these two are not from the fairyland. Have you ever been to the fairyland? Ergozi asked doubtfully. During the time they spent together before, Ergozi already knew Ling Mei's identity and everything behind it. However, he knew very little about Li Bai. By the way, Ergozi, don't you know the master's identity yet? Ling Mei looked at Ergozi and said with a smile. Ah, I really don't know. I just know that the master is awesome, awesome to the sky. Ergozi nodded and said. He, let me tell you. Then, Ling Mei whispered a few words in Ergozi's ear, and the latter was stunned instantly, with a look of horror, and then, like a machine, turned his head and looked at Li Bai. Start, Invincible, met the Empress's apprentice. Author, Ben Pao de la Chang. Chapter 330. Lord, man, you. Ergozi was speechless at this moment. He didn't know what he should say. He never dreamed that his master would be such a big shot. He shouldn't be a giant. Okay, there's nothing to worry about. It doesn't have to be this way. Li Bai said slowly, Ergozi is considered a living being around him anyway, sooner or later he will know his identity. Of course, in the beginning, it was mainly riding Ergozi, which really showed off, but gradually, Li Bai found that he had no time to show off. And Ergozi's character happened to be the same as De Huang, so he simply stayed with him. Hearing these words, Ergozi nodded numbly, and finally came back to his senses after being brainwashed by Ling Biao. Second uncle, there is smoke coming out of our nine-headed lion ancestral grave, we are going to be prosperous, ha ha ha. At this moment, Ergozi has already thought about the scene of following Li Bai everywhere to show off in the future. At the same time, he is collecting some young lionesses. He heard that there is an ancient race in the fairyland, and they happen to be lions. At this moment, more and more disciples were making deafening roars. Because, Qin Feng and the others were too fierce, sprinting upward at an unparalleled speed. Holy shit, you are worthy of being the heavenly tyrant body. It's so domineering. One punch creates a shadow. The same goes for Dugukaiofei, one sword at a time, just like chopping melons and vegetables. Now it is certain that people like Qin Feng can become the Holy Sun. It depends on the battle between the 800th and 900th floors. You must know that this floor is the former emperor of our immortal sword heavenly palace, and it is also there are top masters of every avenue. At this moment, Qin Feng and others also successfully surpassed Han Chen and went all the way up. However, In the hearts of Qin Feng and others, Han Chen was just a prodigy with unparalleled skills and understanding, and could not attract their attention. This Han Chen, I have to say, his understanding is really awesome, even I am envious. Yes, even though he doesn't understand the techniques as well as us, he is just a saint. It's a pity that his understanding is incredible, and the rest of his conditions are too poor, especially his physique. Although he is the top among kings, he is still a king after all. It seems that the Holy Throne is already a certainty for us. How about, let's bet on the throne? Qin Feng said excitedly. How to bet? Hey. Afterwards, Qin Feng explained the bet. Okay, we'll accompany you. So are we. Then come on. After finishing speaking, Qin Feng and others immediately burst out with their own momentum. In an instant, various strange phenomena continued to appear in the sky. A few hours later, Qin Feng and others had successfully passed the 800th floor. Passed, they passed. The holy position has been determined. Next, it depends on whether you can pass the throne. I guess it's difficult. Countless evildoers and geniuses have fallen into the sand on this 100th floor before. Damn it, look, those 3 people passed too. At this time, a disciple pointed at Li Bai and the 3 of them and shouted. Damn, why did they rush so fast? Let me just say, I'm definitely pretending to be a pig and eating a tiger to show off. Now, it looks great. At this moment, the other saints were also dumbfounded. After all, Zhang Hao had bet on Li Bai's throne before, but now it seems that he is only a little short of it. Zhang Hao, you really didn't make a mistake. Damn it, if I had known earlier, I would have bet on it. This is a bicycle turned into a motorcycle. Tell me, the 3 of them, why were they pretending to be cool before? It's so bad. At this moment, Zhang Hao was extremely excited. He was only 100 levels away from obtaining that skill. Come on. At this moment, there are only a dozen geniuses left on the entire road to immortality. In addition to Qin Feng and others, Li Bai and 3 others, there are 4 dark horses, including Han Chen, but Han Chen is still at 750. Layer. It's a pity. These 4 dark horses probably won't be able to get past the 800th floor. Especially with this Han Chen, it's a pity that his understanding is so incredible, but his physique is dragging him down. No matter what, I am already a core disciple, so I can make a lot of money. Just as everyone was discussing whether Qin Feng and others could surpass the throne, the aura of the God King kept coming from the sky. After a moment, 6 creatures slowly appeared in the sky, 4 men and 2 women. The men were wearing gorgeous clothes made of dragon scales, and the women were wearing fairy skirts made of phoenix feathers. The aura of each one was extremely terrifying, as if the young emperor had already taken shape. These 6 are the emperor's sons and daughters of the immortal sword heavenly palace. The 2 weakest are in the realm of god kings, and the strongest is the leader of the chaos god king. This is also the most powerful first emperor among all emperors, Xuanhuan, the son of Xuanhuan. The others are, the second emperor, Blood Eye. The third emperor, Chen Tian. The fourth emperor, Xuanhuan. The fifth emperor, Mu11. The sixth emperor, Beizu. Mu11 and Beizu are god kings, Xuanhuan is at the peak of god kings, and as for Chen Tian and Xuetong, both are half-step chaos god kings. Damn it, the emperor has appeared. 6 of them, all the emperor's sons and daughters appeared, even Jian Wuifeng, who usually sees the dragon but never sees its tail, appeared. By the way, why did the emperor appear? You forgot that this 100th floor is a battle against the phantom of the throne. They naturally want to see who can defeat their phantom. At this moment in the sky, Jian Wuifeng was dressed in black, his eyes were like stars, and his face was extremely sharp. He didn't have much similarity with Jian Wuhan, but more like his mother. Old Jian, I didn't expect that even you would show up. Chen Tian said teasingly. Well, after all, it's the throne, I'm naturally curious, and don't call me Old Jian, it's weird. Tisk, I think you are afraid that someone will defeat your phantom. Suitong said slowly. He he. In response, Jian Wuifeng only answered with 2 words and ignored it. By the way, Muxi, who do you think will be the first to ascend to the throne? Bai Zhu on the side hurriedly changed the topic and said, they all knew the grudge between Suitong and Jian Wuifeng. Suitong is the first son of the Emperor of the Fairy Sword Palace. Of course, he is not the first son of the Emperor of this era, because once the son of the Emperor reaches the Quasi-Emperor, he will be removed from the throne and become an elder. Suitong is 10 years older than Jian Wuifeng. He was still at the peak of the God King at that time, but was defeated by Jian Wuifeng, who had just been promoted to the God King, so that the grudge between the two was very deep. Suitong also fought Jian Wuifeng many times afterwards, but ended in failure. Ah, you ask me, I can't do it? Mu11 said cutely, looking quite cute. I feel that the man in white is not simple. Shang Guanwaner beside Mu11 spoke softly, her voice was extremely cold, which was also due to her personality. After all, she practiced the Forbidden Avenue, the supreme ruthless Dao, and practicing to the extreme would abandon all emotions. Why? Bai Zhu asked puzzledly. Because of him, I have fearful emotions. Shang Guanwaner's expressionless words shocked the 6 emperors. Fear. Is this true? You are so ruthless, haven't you abandoned fear long ago? That's right, you don't even feel fear when facing the emperor in person. Shang Guanwaner did not make any explanation for this, but just stared at Li Bai, trying to find the source of her fear.